how can you rate the former president of of VUT, ZAKES?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Don't ask me about that. You're like, okay, let me give my honest opinion. At first, when I heard that ZAKES was gonna be president, I was like, ZAKES! I'm like, most Karabelo can be a president. I didn't be a president. And then there was a time I think the students were facing, they couldn't register. I couldn't see him. But I think I saw Tepang and the other guy from Saska, forgot his name. One deal. I was like, where's the president? And then when he came this side, when we were striking and stuff, you know what ZAKES is good at? He's good at...
It's vocal.
He's very vocal. You understand? When he talks, you can listen to him and say, this person is very vocal and stuff like that. And effectiveness, I feel like he's good, but he lacks there and there about being effective and being out there, and people can see, okay, this person is doing this and this and this and this. Being vocal, he can be vocal, he can talk to people and stuff like that. But making things happen, I feel like that's where maybe there's a lack of, but he does do something about it. But if you can see Manda was able to talk, but at the same time, you could see what he was doing. Both parties, they needed score in order for them to be able to govern.
Okay, that part I get.
Yeah.
The only part I do not get is that if ZAKES was from school, then why has he appeared so many times wearing EFF regalia?
Okay,
he can
this thing happened like this. ZAKES is a branch member of EFF under VT Musana branch. So SCO is not a political party.
Yes.
It's a church organization. So the likes of Forgiven and Boshimza, they are the ones who push the movement of SCO, if I think you remember well.
Yeah.
They were pushing this guy with a Palisa Slab. So to go to school with both ZAKES and both Felicity, and even Elisha was there. I mean, Given was there on that list of a school. So ZAKES was a member of what? Of EFF. But because they betrayed him, I think, during that election part. Even now, I can move from EFF and appear on SASCO.
Yeah.
You see, that thing happened during election time. I think this issue of events, my friend, is a very, very serious issue with EduCity. So I think from next year, they have to prioritize the student of EduCity and make events for EduCity only, because they do events for main res and academia. So they have to do events here and bring the likes of Botu Mibomaporisa here, not at amphitheater.
Welcome to it. It's another episode of the Brave Podcast. I know it's been a long time that we haven't been recording, but we decided to make this special episode because there are upcoming elections of UT that are happening, and people want to know who's going to win these upcoming elections. That will be happening on the 24th of October, 2024. This is the leadership of EduCity. I have Mr. Noka, I have Mr. Sdumo, and also Mr. Karabelo. And I'm your host with the most. My name is Prince. And today we're going to be talking about elections. Just about 40 minutes and then we'll be fine. Are you guys good?
Yeah, we're good.
I'm good, man. It's cold. It's cold out here, man. It was raining yesterday.
Yeah, we are freezing. It's very, very cold.
It's because of someone.
Who's someone?
Someone.
Muscle man.
Yeah, by the way, we are sponsored by Sam Media. Thank you for the lights and the cameras and everything else. Can you do this, man? I want the lights to come to me so that I can appear nice. You know, so guys, elections are coming next week on the 24th. I feel like we need to start about what happened last year, whereby there were elections and there was no party that was an outright majority, meaning no party got 50%. For all the parties that were there, and then we had a coalition government whereby the EFF had a coalition with SCO, right? And some of us were part of those organizations, but we were at the bottom there. I knew, my friend, that we were never going to be
at the bottom, the number 11.
So there was no way that they're going to get 11 seats, but it's fine. So after that, the EFF decided to go in coalition with SCO. And the reason was that the EFF was going to give SCO presidency and housing. How did you feel about that? Like the last year of those two parties being in power, how did you feel? Or was there any changes that happened? Did you see anything that changed?
No, Mr. Pizza, I think it was a good move, by the way, from the EFF, because it was an initiative from the EFF that they must make a coalition with the SCO. So to give ZAKES presidency and Felicity housing, then EFF will take the SG, the academics and other, then they give SASCO. I won't say the useless positions, but they gave them the less prioritized position.
They're useless.
They're very useless.
They're very useless.
They are not useless because they got one which is very, very special. So they give more razor the entertainment. They know those are the most special positions on the SRC. So it was a good move, by the way, from the EFF. But the last SRC or the former SRC, I made a serious plan. We will go into details. I will give Ramachales.
I'm a bit confused though, because I'm not really into like varsity politics like that. But then maybe you can explain this one over. Who was actually from EF and who was actually from school? Because like these things can be confusing sometimes.
So basically, what happened now, from what I think I know.
How about you talk about you?
Because I was part of SCO, but I was put at number 10. So I knew that I was never going to get any SRC position. So what happened was, I think ZAKES and Felicity were from SCO. Because I think ZAKES left the EFF at that time. Because it was in our group, ZAKES. We had a group of SCO and everyone else there. So what happened was Felicity and ZAKES were in SCO, and then there were other members of the EFF there. So EFF didn't get... in fact, they didn't get the most votes. The party that got the most votes was SASCO, right? But SASCO needed to get 50% in order to win the majority and be able to rule and have and have their seats and be able to be the ruling party of the students. But they didn't get 50%. So now they needed, both parties, they needed SCO in order for them to be able to govern.
Okay, that part I get.
Yeah.
The only part I do not get is that if ZAKES was from school, then why has he appeared so many times wearing EFF regalia?
Okay,
He can
this
answer.
thing happened like this. ZAKES is a branch member of EFF under VT Musana branch. So SCO is not a political party.
Yes.
It's a church organization. So the likes of Forgiven and Boshimza, they are the ones who push the movement of SCO. If I think you remember well,
Yeah.
they were pushing this guy with Palisa Slab. So to go to school with both ZAKES and both Felicity, and even Elisha was there. I mean, Given was there on that list of a school. So ZAKES was a member of what? Of EFF. But because they betrayed him, I think, during that election part. Even now, me, I can move from EFF and appear on SASCO.
Yeah.
You see, that thing happened during election time.
Okay.
So when Mr. Mizani, do you think, as a student of UT, do you think ever since that coalition between SCO and EFF happened, did you see any changes maybe at your residence or you as a person?
Oh my God, I love that question, Mr. Vito. I know.
Why not? What changes did you expect?
First
they
of
didn't
all,
happen.
one thing that I could say is that I thought that students were gonna be put first, especially us who stay here at EduCity. Well, we are kind of like facing many challenges, and on top of that, and no matter how much we fight, we are still being neglected. We are not heard, and other than that, we are treated by like kids.
Make examples. Changes like what? Like what
First
was
of all,
troubling you here that EduCity didn't
first
change?
of all, I wanna on the thing of entertainment.
Yes.
Like
yes.
ngithanda entertainment like grata monate, you understand. So other than that, each and every time when there are events, we have to go that
That's
side.
true.
And another thing
When they
that
bring
is-
a national artist, they never come to EduCity.
yeah, and another thing that is painful, like most painful, there was a part whereby our students here had to like go that side. You understand? They had to like go that side. I think Dr. Dumi was coming or something like that. And the painful thing is that a bus didn't even come. A bus didn't even come, Daddy.
yeah,
What
yeah,
did I buy?
yeah. I will get into this issue of that one. I think this issue of events, my friend, is a very, very serious subject with EduCity. So I think from next year they have to prioritize the student of EduCity and make events for EduCity only, because they do
Exclusively.
events for main res and academia. So they have to do events here and bring the likes of Botumi, Police here, not at amphitheater.
We even have Edu artists.
Exactly.
Like you, like yourself. Imagine, man, if they brought someone and then you were there as a local artist and you perform Security.
Security,
My friend,
man.
you'll be trending on TikTok
Man,
now.
I
For
was
you,
gonna
Mr.
say
Noka,
so.
academically speaking, what do you think they didn't do that you were expecting them to do in terms of academics? Let's not just talk about entertainment only.
Well, talking about academics, I'm mainly gonna focus on education, Bachelor of Education, because what
We are living here. Yes,
exactly
yes.
that's what we do here, and that's what I see every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have to mention that you're the academic office.
You're putting me under the bus now. Okay, sure.
You know, we always have problems here.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
lecturers are doing their own things,
Yeah,
lecturers
yeah,
are
yeah.
leaving, lecturers are coming. But then there's too many issues that are not being addressed here. And I'm sure some of them you don't even know about them.
Yes.
For example, talking about the first year issue, they had a maths lecturer, he left. They didn't have a lecturer for a long time. Then another one came. It was exam time. They had to write and all that. Obviously, those kids are not going to pass.
Yeah.
And then there's another issue. This one, it's like, I actually don't know much about it, but then it's a thing of like a lecturer being there but not being there. Just giving assignments,
Mental
students
stuff,
writing,
yeah.
and then they don't know
And
nothing.
I think 30 years we're crying about this thing. You know, the thing is, for me as an academic officer, I feel like the leaders that side, even if maybe you're an academic officer from the SRC, they don't have a relationship with the HKs of different races. You understand? I feel like they do their own thing, but they don't really. They need to interact more with the students in order for this thing to work. Because I've never went, as an academic officer, I never went to an academic office of the SRC and say, I have this kind of a problem here. Because me and him, we don't really have a relationship. So I feel like in order for them to feel like they're making an impact in students' lives and in student life, they need to interact more with the leaders of those residences. Like if you're an academic officer and say, man, what's your problem? What's going on? How can we fix these things? Is the library working? Are the computer labs working that side? Do you guys have a printing machine? What's going on? Interact with us even more, or make maybe a meeting and say, I'm a sports officer from the SRC. Let me talk to all the sports officers, make a meeting with them, have our own group, talk about the challenges. You understand what I'm saying?
I think on that point, my friend, we need to bring back that one they were doing last time, I think 2017, 2018, where they have faculties, faculty on humanity, they have a president, on engineering, they have a president, and on applied science, they have a president. So they have to bring it back again, where we'll have a president of what? Humanities, you know. We have HR, education, policing, and what. Then we have our own president. So you, as HKs, you will go and report there to that person. Not everyone to go to Monday and say, okay, Mina, sorry to mention the former SRC member, Mr. Mond, to say, okay, Mina, I have this problem. Obviously, we are 18,000 at VT. If I receive 12,000 messages, I won't reply to all of them.
It's impossible.
It's impossible, you see. I don't know. What's your say, Mr. Mocha?
How about the issue of academics,
Yeah.
Is it a problem for you? Or maybe you feel like you don't need them per se, because I feel like sometimes, academically speaking, from EduCity, we don't really go to them that much. I feel like since we have student representatives, we're able to deal with our issues on our own. You understand? And we don't really need them that much. But I feel like if we can interact with them even more, if a party wants to win elections, I'm telling you, they need to talk to this to the HKs of each and every single residence. Talk to them, interact with them, be able to talk like I'm telling you, because if you are the president and I'm the prim of Nkandla, and you are able to have a relationship with me, when election comes, I'm gonna say, this president was always here talking to me. I'm gonna convince my students to say, vote for this person. You understand? So I wanna know from you guys, what is it that these parties need to focus more on in order for them to win elections? coming next week?
Well, I have something to say.
They should
about
not buy students alcohol. Let's leave that one.
Listen.
Alcohol and food.
Listen, what previous leadership have been doing, né? Especially here in City, they would just come, give students t-shirts and think that's campaigning. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Because those t-shirts, what do we do with them?
And you know what I always say?
It's our pajamas sometimes. Sometimes it's our football kit because we all have the same t-shirt. Sometimes it's our matching outfit. Sometimes, but then that's not campaigning.
And you know what I always say? I always say that you can't treat students like they're normal citizens. These people pass matric, they're doing diplomas, they're doing degrees. When you come and you say you bring in t-shirts to people, it's like you're treating us like normal citizens. But we know that if we bring you guys t-shirts, you're gonna vote for us. And that's because you know what students does, ne? They take EFF t-shirt and they take SASCO t-shirt and they take SCO. Okay, SCO didn't have t-shirts much, but it's fair. I didn't even have one. At least they give you a t-shirt.
Okay, Mr. Walker, you know, Ramatelisa is making a point. But now I think the way of winning a student heart is not to come on the time of elections. Visit them from February regularly. So you check them February, guys. What are your issues? If I'm a prim of education or a prim of academia, I have to know these issues. I know that at G2, this one window is not working. At block 9, S12, CFS room, it's having a trouble with study lights. You see, so I interact with the student every time, not like I come only once. I will help them a week before the elections. But
guys, I feel like we all know that's politics. Like even nationally, it's happening. No, when they're close to elections, that's when they give people food parcels because elections are coming up.
But
so don't you think that even the student leaders or the EFF, the SASCO or SCO, did you think that they're taking this thing from their parties or their leaders nationally? Say because these people are only bringing food parcels whenever the elections because it's election campaigning.
Mr. Ramses, I mean, I will say, you know what I usually say. I will say people are in politics for hunger. Most of them, they are hungry and they are hungry of power, and most they want to take from the student, because if you take, mostly they just here to take and go. That's why some who don't care if my term is for one year, then after I'm done, that person say I won't go back there because I fulfill my duties. Not the duty of student, but mine, because I wanted to eat then go. But if you want to help student from the heart, that can be good. So that's why I'm saying, if you check them regularly, so just as you do at EduCity, you have your own group as HKs where you interact and you solve problems, you see. Then you come to us, other leaders, you ask, how can you solve this and this? And we say, okay, we can do this. That's why you guys don't go that side of SRC and ask for help most of the time, you see. So I think that one can help.
I think in addition to what you're saying, when comparing the national government and the government in varsities, you must know that the national government is always campaigning. Campaigning through the grants, campaigning through building roads, building everything the whole year, the whole 5 years. Then, you know, after 5 years, that's their talking points. They're going to tell you, we built the stadium, we built the road, we gave you grants, we gave you this, we gave you that.
But we can't take away the fact that even before elections, especially close to elections, they give people food parcels for them to vote for them.
But then, the varsity parties, they want to start campaigning only when it's time for voting. What have you been doing the whole year? And it's not only like the responsibility of the governing party to come to students and be like, what's your problem? What's not your problem? What's your problem? Even the parties that are not in government are supposed to do something. It's a campaign.
So we can know them.
Yes, it's a campaign.
So that when you see them on the ballot paper, you say, I know this person came to my residence and they were able to help us. Talking about residences, for this year throughout, what's that one thing, or maybe some of the things that you feel like they should have maybe focused more on, especially here at EduCity, that maybe some of the achievements, maybe you can talk about me that I've done maybe some things, put me on the map there,
I think,
or some of the things that you feel like could have been done for us to say, okay, let's vote for this party again, because they've actually done something for EduCity, or what? Yeah. Like, what do you think should have been done, or what do you think has been done that you can be able to vote for this party again, Mr. Mjan?
Another borehole, the borehole that they're talking so loudly about, they should have like put that borehole a long time ago.
You know,
You
there was no
understand?
when we were fighting for that borehole thing. There were no SRC member there.
No. And the other than
No,
that,
I will come to that part. They were there because the former president was here when he came with Faith, and Faith called me my son. I think you remember that story. So they were here. Even
No, I'm talking about the day that the decision was. I feel like
yes,
the day
decision
when
was
we
taken,
went to the project manager.
we will go back, my friend, and say this thing is from from March.
Mr. Nwanti,
Before
you
this
can
fight,
join us, it's fine.
from March, you see. So we have been fighting, but you know, when you fight now, but for in politics, the results will come next year, maybe. So you see. So that's why I'm saying the president was here in March when we had a strike with the convener, the coordinator of EFF now, Londi Wedlala. They were here. Londi was facing suspension. About the strike of EduCity. I think you remember the story. Even you and Mr. Ramatelesa,
was there, man.
your names were there
I haven't
for
closed the
suspensions.
We're still waiting for those letters.
Yeah, so we can go.
So now, Mr. Mjan, as a normal student, what did you expect? Maybe something could have been done going to EduCity. Maybe they could have allowed you to stay with your woman. Or maybe more freedom, or what's happening? Because there's no, alcohol is not allowed. Maybe you wanted alcohol to be allowed.
well, yeah, alcohol has to be allowed because, well, it's one of like, the coping mechanisms that we need as students, specifically me, talking
Don't
to
you think
myself.
it'd be regulated, man, if it's allowed here at residences?
I mean, I don't think it's a good point to bring alcohol to residents.
It is!
Last year we had a serious case while I was a prim of this race. I was sleeping around 4 a.m. People were fighting, wanted to kill each other here because they are drunk. So I think
But I feel like regulations, like if maybe we're saying no, what is this things? I don't drink too much, man.
I'm a Christian. We can't say we must not bring court or what. Bring
The
cans and long toms. Being drunk is being drunk. If you consume 35% that day of alcohol, you are drunk.
But it's
No
still the
matter
same
if
thing,
you
because
took
if we sit outside there and drink, we're still gonna get into race.
you come back tired here. And you go and
No,
sleep.
but we were sitting there the whole time drinking alcohol there. So it's the same thing. Because like I feel like if it can be regulated, and say, okay, maybe we can enter with cans.
No,
No,
I don't
alcohol
like
is not
this.
allowed in
Why
the
not?
university.
because you know how you are when you're drunk.
Exactly. How they behave
Now
when
you're
they're drunk.
pinpointing. No, me. Oh, damn.
Mr.
When I say
Sdumo,
you,
Mr. Sdumo, at
I
some
mean
point,
people who
we need to be
drink.
like, at some point, we need to be honest with one thing. About you can't be calling this place university, like, or residence, like, just look at the living conditions here.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that point, Mr. Mojani. I think we are at the Value University of Technology. I'll protect the name of the university. It's Value University of Technology. So I think, with the residents, I can say, we are living in a farm. Because if you can check the environment, it's very, very bad.
Gibbs calls it rehab. It's a rehab. You know what I feel like? I feel like for parties to be able to be considered again next year to win elections, what they should focus more on is the maintenance. When they can just talk about maintenance. Other things I understand, sports, they're still important, academics are still important, but maintenance of the residences, if they can focus on like, look at this place, we don't have grass here.
But on the topic of maintenance, if they're gonna campaign using maintenance, it means you are saying they must close the whole rest. Because you two spoke about maintenance, and then they closed 2 blocks. They are still not operational.
No, I'm just
so
saying,
now if you want them to maintain the whole rest, they should close it.
No, I'm just saying, like, you don't even have to fix the whole. Like, look at block 1. There's a broken window there. That window is been broken since 2022. Remember that day when our friend just clapped the window
And City was playing.
and then it broke. You understand? It's been like that since 2022. So small things like putting a window, small things like making sure that all the places in each and every single floor, they have lights. Making sure that students have student light. What is this thing? Student lights. Study lights. I mean, making sure that when doors are broken, they're fixed. immediately, almost things like that, because I feel like there's a budget, like even in government, there's a disaster management budget that is there. So even VUT, they do have that budget whereby if something is broken, they can be able to have another supplement for it. Understand? So if we could have something like that and say, okay, there's no cafeteria. Why are we delaying with bringing tenders so that people can come and they can supply students with whatever it is that they need? And Lucy does not have a grass. We can bring artificial grass here.
Okay, I think
I feel like with let me just finish my point. I feel like with maintenance, there has to be they can just be more efficient on it for them to they don't even have to campaign now. After the win elections, they can say, okay, let's focus more on making sure that our residences are well maintained, so that next year, just like you're saying, you don't have to campaign when the elections are closed, but campaign throughout the year like national parties do. Mm-hmm. So if they can just focus more on those maintaining our residences, I'm telling you, students will make sure that they actually vote for these people. You were saying?
No, I think Mr. Ramatelesa was making a point that maintenance is a issue at a VUT. Mm-hmm. I think we are a HK this year. When you go to VUT, they will tell you about procurement. That procurement they didn't approve, procurement this, procurement that. I think even yet you see we still have a very, very serious issue of Block 6 Wi-Fi. I think since we came here 2022, that block is having a problem with Wi-Fi. They are failing to change a small thing on that route. So the Wi-Fi can operate again. I was moving to this room today, if I can add. We have many issues. But they don't fix them. A simple issue, a window, a handle of a window, which they can fix. They are failing to do it. They'll tell you about we have to do this, but we do have that thing. Why can't you go in and buy the silicone and put it for temporal while we're waiting for
what I feel procurement? I feel like you remember there was a program that was happening. I don't know, it was a couple of months ago, whereby I think it was a president or someone and the vice chancellor. They were going around residences checking how are these suitable conditions for students to stay in. You understand? So I feel like if you're a vice chancellor, you know that there's some points whereby things are just closed because of procurement. When you go there and they tell you about procurement and everything like that, you can make progress in that and making sure that, okay, the money there, they can be facilitated even more faster. Understand? For residences to be able to be maintained, right? As a president, you can say, okay, we have a problem of making sure the money is being procured in time for residences to be maintained. You talk to the vice chancellor. Okay, this is the part where maybe the money can be blocked for residences to be maintained. How about we push another angle, like so that the process of procurement happens very quickly for residences to be maintained.
I think to add on,
I think we should be presidents, man.
Yeah, we have to take this SRC.
We have to give credit where it's due. VUT, when you complain about lights, they come and bring lights. VUT, when you complain about stoves, they come and fix them. The only problem that we have with their maintenance is their turnaround time. Because you can complain now, they will come after 2 months.
Yes, absolutely.
So they need to improve on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're making a good point, Mr.
Let's talk about this one, man. Each and every single year in the beginning of the year, students are facing registration problems. Registrations have been postponed. There's some students who are academically blocked and stuff like that. So I want to know from you guys as leaders, what do you think can be done for making sure that those processes go smoothly and there's no problems there and they're able to be solved? Because sometimes it's frustrating, man, knowing that registrations are supposed to be open in February and then you're sitting at home the whole year not doing anything, you're bored and stuff like that. Bobo?
I think talking on that, we had a situation this year where it seemed like they accepted more people than they can register. And so people applied, they got accepted, the number was too high. And then when it came to registration, it was first come, first serve. And then most people ended up not going to school again. So I don't know how that is going to be fixed, but VUT must stick to a specific number, and that specific number, they must accept their registrations when they are trying to register.
Yeah, on that one, I think we have a problem here at VUT with this thing of a quota full, because that's where the issue starts. If I remember very well, early this year, February, when we were registering,
it was January.
For B.Ed, only 56 registered first. So BEd it usually takes 150 a year student. So when you say it's quarter full, while it's 56, it's not quarter full. It's supposed to go to 75. Then you can say now it's quarter full.
And I remember very well there was a time when some student couldn't even register, and they were asking like when you waste time and you say which modules can I choose? Some people are still registering. I'm like choosing as long as you register.
You will cancel.
You understand? That's a problem that we had on BEd. You, Mr. Mjani, registrations. But you never had the problem with registration.
Our group never had a problem. We had a very good leader. Hey, I still remember that guy. Hey, before I share it here, but well, we never had a problem as the fourth group. Everything went well. And again, I could say that at that time, we're kind of like prioritized Nyana. Yeah, and everything that we wanted, we made sure that we get it.
Oh, another thing that I realized, the people who have money had more advantage when it came to registrations. Because they would tell you that NSFAS hasn't yet sent the list, but people are already registered.
And we're having another issue here that is happening whereby you pay for the money and then they will say that you're going to get your money back. The process takes too long. How about why is it that we can really have a process whereby once they know that you've been selected for an FSAS, maybe around March, already you've been registered and already you are there in the system. Why can't they say, okay, if you want your money back now you can, because now they are only opening registration paybacks refunds now.
I think it's not like they don't know. They know that okay, when I paid a registration fee of 2.5. So when the first payment happens, I think it's around April, the first payment of NSFAS. They have to bring back your money. It's your money. It's not their money.
Exactly.
It's yours. It belongs to you.
You don't have to ask for it
or fight for it.
Wait, I'm trying to understand something. There's some people who paid the registration fee in January and couldn't register. Are they also getting their money now, or they got it long ago?
They have to get it now because the refunds will be released now.
But then VUT is disadvantaging them because they could have taken their money and went to register somewhere else.
Simple.
That's why I'm saying they have to return the money immediately. After the registration is done, just give them back their money because you have the money.
Exactly. And you see, those are the points that we can give to political parties and say, talk to these people about these things. So the students next time they can be able to vote for you, the EFF or whoever. So I want to ask you guys, going back to elections, a very important question. Do you think that this year we will have a party that wins an outright majority, getting 50%, or do you think we're going to have a coalition government? Also, which one do you think is going to win?
I can rate them according to their work they did previous. Obvious, if you check,
let's not forget that you're putting a red t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm not hiding. I'm a EFF member in a good standing. Okay, to judge from the previous SRC, elections. I think SASCO had 5 seats, EFF 5, then SCO 2. So the way I see things, I think we might go back to coalition, but I don't know how this time around, because last time they gave EFF the 2 seats of presidency and housing.
You mean SCO?
They gave EFF those seats from SCO. So EFF had 7 seats. So that's how they won or they champion these things of election. So this time around, I can rate them. I can give the EFF 45% currently as we stand. And I will explain why I'm giving them 45%. I know when you go to Facebook, you will find the Tribune Talk or bullying the EFF there on the Facebook page. Say they did nothing, but I'm asking myself how, because even SASCO had 5 seats with equal seat with EFF. So they had to do equal work, if you say so. So I will give EFF 45% and give SASCO 35% with 13.5% decrease from the previous elections. Then the remaining 20 can go to SCO, but I don't think SCO will go to 20%.
Wait, how many parties are?
We have 3 parties. We have SCO, EFF, and SASCO. But I don't think SCO will get a 20%. I can give SCO 10.6%, roughly so. Then the remaining 9.4, they can change it again back the EFF and SASCO. So yeah, I think EFF will win it, but again they need a coalition to rule with score again.
Well, I think to add on what you just said, varsity politics are influenced by national politics, because the more popular you are, the things that you say influence what students want.
Look what happened at VET.
Exactly. The reason the EFF has been winning governments in varsities is because of how popular the EFF is nationally. And now I feel like EFF is declining in numbers. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the varsity elections.
Seeing that, I've just had the news that Advocate Mkweba Oswell is resigning from and we're seeing both Floyd, and I feel like
people are leaving.
But does it does it really affect the
It doesn't.
I feel like in popular universities like VET, UJ, maybe UP, ne? That's where they get more affected, because SASCO now at VET they did clean sweep. You understand?
Things are changing.
But I feel like here at VUT, they can affect, but I don't think it can have that much of an impact. I don't know if I'm making sense.
But then you must remember that the EFF didn't get outright majority last year.
Yes.
Before the EFF numbers started declining nationally.
Okay,
and now that the numbers are declining nationally, what's going to happen to the EFF?
I can say that was a good move for EFF to decline last year. You know, sometimes in politics you have to see the real forces. So currently I will say we did saw the real forces of EFF, the ones who remain to the EFF without power. And even now we will see the real forces, because now people are moving. When the list is it's out, the one for vetting, when it's out, people will be shifting, going somewhere else. I think I saw a post yesterday, someone from EFF, HK of Menres moved to SASCO. So even announced on the Facebook page.
And I agree with you when you talk about popularity. Ne? I feel like even when you are more popular, especially at VUT, and you switch parties, you as much as we don't think that it makes an impact, it does attract some students to go.
You have your own people.
Exactly. And I just see here, I'm checking the manifesto of the EFF. Ne? There's a point number 3 on academics. They say they propose to reduce academic registration fees. Do you think they can be possible to do that? They can bring it. They bring it to 1.5.
I think you can win it. You know what's the problem? The problem is make friendship with the management. Once you make friendship with, I won't mention names because I will get arrested. Yeah, if I won't mention names because
my son.
Because if you make a friendship with the management, that's where the problem starts. If you can have a proper SRC from the 24th of this month, I know it will start working at around November 10th.
Mr. Makhalela, you're not answering my question. I'm asking, do you think it's possible that it can reduce registration?
Mathematically, so is a math teacher and a qualified one. 110%. Sure.
So you think they can reduce registration fees?
Yeah, I'm also supporting him on that one.
If they reduce registration fees, it means you are saying VUT must cut costs. And the first cost that they're going to cut is maintenance. You know that?
Hey. They will cut for sports, man.
They're saying here on point number 4 under accommodation that the EFF student command will fight for the installation of CCTV in all on and off campus residences. Imagine CCTV
I think that one is it's
imagine
we
don't have a fence that is working. So
I remember we'll steal the cable.
but I think there, my friend, they are making a good point.
Yes.
It's up to the SRC to fight with the management, because last time we had a serious incident here at UCT where they stole someone's belongings. Even now we don't know who did that. and the person went to open the main door, not to break the window, but open the main door and go inside, even throwing the Danon outside. A person who was full now and is leaving, is throwing the Danon, everything, you see.
But knowing how long it takes for VUT to do things, they can start fighting for it now, but we'll only see the results maybe after a year or 2 or 3. That's how it works.
2028.
Or maybe we would or would not.
There has to be a test. You know how this
That's a
thing
good
It's a good point. It's a good point, and it's having CCTV footage is good. It's a good thing, but then I feel like I don't know, man. They need a different strategy.
Hey, my friend, they will be good while you leave VUT.
No, my friend, okay, I'll be here for that fight. You know me as a final year who is leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm coming back here. So I'll be here for that fight.
So you're part of the list.
leave the list.
No, my friend, but you must tell me they put you at least number 3 now, not 10.
I'm saying I'm coming back at VUT as a mechanical student next year.
You're gonna do mechanical engineering?
Yeah, so
I don't have time to waste, man. Be a teacher and stay as a teacher. I'm talking about the elections. Are you part of the Youth of Student Command now?
yes. A good member on
Did they put
standing,
you-
a member who's
yes,
I want to answer you.
Number what?
I want to answer you with a good and valid point. A member who's going there for presidency or SG.
Isn't it?
So which number are you?
Obviously, I have to be in number 1, 2, 3. I have to belong there on that list.
So that is why you're campaigning today.
It's not a campaign. It's not a campaign, but you have to discuss this thing of student politics. So we enlighten students about
Please
politics.
don't load Bafo, please.
You know, I'm a good leader.
So basically, you don't want to go to the workplace. You want to stick on politics and do another cause.
Yeah, we have to help our brothers and sisters.
He wants to be called my son.
Move to adapt.
I think we're running out of time, man. We don't want to make this thing long. I feel like we've reiterated each and every single point. But I want to know, maybe there was something that you were thinking about that you want to, as your last point,
No,
about the SRC elections. Mister, let's start here. Before we talk about the new SG.
Start there.
Oh,
It's Benny.
the
Start there.
SG.
Mina, I want to ask you as a leader and as a student of VUT.
But we didn't talk about achievements of the
yes. How we'll go there? How can you rate the former president of of VUT, ZAKES?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Don't ask me about that. You're like, okay, let me give my honest opinion. At first, when I heard that ZAKES was gonna be president, I was like, ZAKES! I'm like, Karabelo election president. I didn't be president. And then there was a time I think the students were facing, they couldn't register. I couldn't see him. But I think I saw Tepang and the other guy from Sasko. Forgot his name. One deal. I was like, where's the president? And then when he came this side, when we were striking and stuff, you know what ZAKES is good at? He's good at.
It's vocal.
He's very vocal. You understand? When he talks, you can listen to him and say, this person is very vocal and stuff like that. And effectiveness, I feel like he's good, but he lacks there and there about being effective and being out there, and people can see, okay, this person is doing this and this and this and this. Being vocal, he can be vocal, he can talk to people and stuff like that. But making things happen, I feel like that's where maybe there's a lack of, but he does do something about it. But if you can see Manda was able to talk, but at the same time, you could see what he was doing. I remember there was a time when we were fighting and we were striking and there were rubber bullets and it was in front, and you could see even when he gets to residences, there's something that you can see he's doing. Okay, this guy, even though he knows how to talk, but he can be able to implement some of the things that he wants to do. So ZAKES was, maybe I can give him 60% of being effective and implementing the things that he wanted to do. Vocal, I can give him 8.
My last point. I think I have to ask you this one. You think where
so now you're the interviewer now.
The previous SRC failed under the driver ZAKES?
As a former SCORE member.
So you left
my other side of SCORE says they failed. My other side, I feel like there's something that they've done, man. But even though I didn't see their presence enough here at the Dusit, I'm not going to talk about my residents. To be honest, I don't want to lie to the students. I didn't see much of their presence. I feel like if they can be more present in our residence, I'm talking about my residence, in our residence, then I can feel like there's something that they've done. But if I don't see their presence and I don't see any changes, maybe because as an HK, as an academic office, I've never went to the SRC office and say, I need help on this and this and this and this and this and this.
So is the problem the SRC or is the problem you because you're not going there?
The problem is if I'm an MMC of education at Gauteng and you are the premier of Gauteng, right? I don't have to go to you to ask for help. You must come to me and say, are things working? Because you are on top. You understand? If the problem is I come to you for help, even though you don't talk to me at all, I come for you for help, even though you are the premier of Gauteng and I'm an MMC. There's a problem somewhere. You must come and say, where are the leaders of EduCity? And here are the leaders. Guys, let's talk. How can we fix things? How can we make things happen? And sometimes when you go there to an SRC office, let's just be honest, guys, sometimes you don't find those people there most of the time.
That's why I was making a point. I think my first point on this interview, I said, I think we have to bring back the faculties, the head of faculties. So those are the ones they can speak to the HKs and to students. The head of faculties, but I mean, I think it's a pull of work to the SRC academic officer to manage 18,000 students, counting postgrad.
Or you know what they can do? Even if we don't have faculty representatives, we can give prims even more authority.
Yeah.
You know, the president, the whoever, the housing and whatever, they can say, okay, let's have weekly meetings with all the prims of EduCity. I mean, all the prims of all the residences in VUT. Weekly meetings and ask owner, okay, did your academic officer give you a report of what's going on? Let's go through all those reports and see what is it that we can solve. Because now if you don't do anything, you don't interact with these people, like we have, there's a housing committee, that is controlled by the housing only. And sometimes they don't have those powers to change things. Okay.
Well, I'm a bit confused on the hierarchy of how things are supposed to be. Because isn't it supposed to be that the president is supposed to come up with new ideas and then give it to HKs to implement, but then when HKs face problems, they go back to the leadership to say, we have this problem, help us here, instead of the HKs just going and fighting for themselves.
You know what VUT does now? There's housing and there's presidents. So housing, if the person is in charge of that, what do they call it? That position, he's in control of all the HKs. That means we report to her. We don't report to the president. That means if she doesn't have the power to make some changes, or she doesn't have the power to make some changes, then she can go to the president. But we don't go directly to the president and say, this is a problem that we have. We go to housing and say, housing, this is a problem that we have, this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And sometimes of Manore doesn't even have the powers to make things happen. And the president does. So what I feel like the powers can change. Give the president more power and say, let's meet with all the prims of all the residences and make things happen. Understand?
That's a good point.
But I feel like this was a very good conversation, guys. We've run out of time. Future SG, what do you want to say to the people? Just word of the day.
My last point, I can say on the 24th, we have to go out, all of us, early in the morning, 8 o'clock. We do the writing. When you see red, you see Odumile from EduCity.
We are going.
Mr. Noka.
We are going.
Well, all I'm saying is that we do
As
not...
an ANC member.
I'm independent. Well, I just want to say we are not, I'm saying to political parties, we are not voting based on t-shirts this time.
Yes.
What did you do? What will you do? And what are you doing now? Thank you.
Mr. Mujad, regulations on alcohol. I know you're going to say that, my friend. Alcohol must enter.
Alcohol must enter. We need alcohol as students. Your night's needed. There's nothing we can do. It's a need, in fact.
So guys, make sure that you go and vote on the 24th of October. Vote for your parties. Vote for the EFF Student Command. Vote for independence.
No,
Vote for whoever you want to vote for. Don't
friend,
tell people what to vote for.
My friend here will support me, so...
So we are leaving Sasko.
My vote is my secret.
We are here, please.